Coming up on the September 16th edition of Sports Extra. Graduating on time is difficult for any student, but these athletes are tackling the challenge and finishing faster than most students do.
Southern part of heaven, and that's where we are. Absolutely, Carolina blue skies. So.
She's back. Heather O'Reilly returns, but it's not to play soccer for the Heels.
These Heels are killing it. We'll look at the volleyball team's dominant home debut. Sports Extra starts right now.
From the University of North Carolina School of Journalism and Mass Communication, covering the full range of Tar Heel athletics, this is Sports Extra.
Teams had their first home games and weren't very kind to their visitors. Streaks were snapped, and it was a crazy weekend for the Tar Heels. Welcome to Sports Extra, UNC's only highlights, analysis, and issues show. I'm Paige Comparato.
And I'm Delia D'Ambra. It might have been a wild weekend on the field at UNC, but it was a dramatic week off the field at Oklahoma State.
The Oklahoma State football program is in the midst of a major NCAA violation scandal. Sports Illustrated rolled out a detailed report in which former players accused the university of wrongdoing, including impermissible benefits, academic fraud, sex for recruits, and drug use. UNC head football coach Larry Fedora was an assistant at OSU from 2005 to 2007, and wide receivers coach Gunter Brewer and tight ends coach Walt Bell were also on the staff at OSU during the period in question. Fedora said he was expecting OSU-related questions right after the report came out.
Because I was obviously at Oklahoma State 2005 through 2007, and so it was just a natural conversation on, what my thoughts were about the situation. Yeah, I mean, it was, shocking when it came out. It was shocking to me. I do, but I also understand it's accusations and allegations. That's what they are. They're accusations.
Oklahoma State University President Burns Hargis responded to the allegations made in the article. He said the university was deeply troubled by the claims and that the school would investigate and take proper action.
While the rest of college football world was focused on the OSU scandal, UNC had a relaxing bye week. Our Luis Fernandez joins us now to preview this weekend's game in Atlanta. So, Luis, how is that bye week going to do for Carolina? Is it going to help us at all?
Well, Delia, to be honest, it's a tough question to answer. You'd think the extra time to prepare for the Yellow Jackets' potent triple option offense would help the Tar Heels, but Carolina hasn't beaten Georgia Tech after a bye week since 2008. Last year, UNC's defense played poorly might be an understatement. They gave up 68 points. Personally, I think, and so is defensive end Kareem Martin, that they've come up with a surefire plan to slow down Georgia Tech. Just do your job.
It's going to be mostly on the linebackers, and my job is to keep the offensive linemen, just keep them off the linebackers, and they'll make the plays. And I think that's the biggest thing. That's how we're going to beat them. Guys being selfless, just let the other guy make the play. You do your assignment, and the play will be made.
While part of assignment football is maintaining gap integrity and holding up blockers, the secondary will play an important role. Georgia Tech runs very well, and that makes the play-action pass deadly. 40% of Yellow Jackets sophomore quarterback Vad Lee's completions have been for touchdowns. So if the safeties and corners can sit down on the routes and not bite on play action, the defense can slow down Georgia Tech. No worries, though. I hadn't forgotten about the Heels' offense. The guys on that side of the ball will have to play very well, too. The rhythm was off in the first two games against South Carolina and Middle Tennessee State. UNC will need to score a lot of points to take pressure off the defense, especially early on in the game. If the Heels can get an early lead, Georgia Tech can't run all over the place and dominate time of possession. The Jackets will be forced to throw the ball, and Vad Lee is a lot better with the run as a threat than when he has to drop back and pass every play. It won't be easy for the offense. The Yellow Jackets have allowed only 2 touchdowns so far this season. Both Georgia Tech and UNC's offenses like to control the tempo, so time of possession will be really key.
Well, maybe we can just hope Bryn Renner and the offense can hold on to the football and just score some touchdowns in the process.
Definitely.
Thanks, Luis.
If you already had a good job lined up, would you still choose to complete your college degree? For 2 senior starters on the football team, the answer is yes, and the sooner the better. They're graduating in December after 3.5 years of being student athletes.
Number 95, Kareem Martin, is one of UNC's best defenders. Tim Jackson wears number 93 and is a stalwart on the defensive line. Both are likely early-round NFL draft picks. And both will be able to concentrate on the NFL Combine in the spring because they'll be through with their classes and will have their degrees. According to the NCAA's 2012 graduation report, Only 75% of college football players at UNC graduate within 6 years after starting college. But 4 UNC football seniors will be doing just that this December, graduating early in only 3.5 years. Jackson is majoring in exercise and sports science. He came to school wanting to excel in football and to get a good education.
Academics has always been important to me. That was part of my decision to come here. I wanted to come to a school that was academically strong. I've always taken it seriously.
Jackson's teammate Martin made the decision to get a degree in public policy before pursuing his NFL dreams.
I knew that it would be really tough for me to graduate, especially in 3.5 years, given the rigorous, academic tasks that they're asking for out of you at UNC, but that was just my motivation.
Director of Football Student Athlete Development Andre Williams says even though he knows some athletes might leave before finishing school, his staff always encourages athletes to concentrate on academics too.
It's definitely encouraged that the student athlete receives their degree. That's why they come to school.
Jackson believes that players who leave early and declare for the draft in their junior year are missing out on a huge reward.
That means you've given your all to the school, but you didn't get anything in return. So sad cases like that is one of my motivating factors.
Both Martin and Jackson say that they spend up to 30 hours per week just playing football.
To balance this with academics, Carolina football players have many resources to help them.
We've expanded our stadium, and in the Loudermilk Center, we have an excellent academic center to help them with their studying.
Jackson and Martin have some advice for other student athletes who are hoping to get all they can out of college.
Sometimes you got to realize that, hey, I'm only here for 4 years. It's a small window, small opportunity.
Just prioritizing, the academics, because any time, your sports career can be over.
And that mentality is why Williams calls the NFL the not-for-long league, stressing the long-term importance of a college education.
The UNC field hockey team is top-ranked and very busy. The Heels open their home season with 2 matches this weekend, facing 15th-ranked Old Dominion and unranked Radford. The Tar Heels got off to a good start on Friday, shutting out Old Dominion 3-0. But number 14, Emma Bozak, scored 2 early goals within the first 7 minutes to give the Heels an early advantage. Chancellor Carol Folt was in attendance to witness Carolina's dominant home performance. UNC put the icing on the cake with an all-important 3rd goal in the 68th minute, scored by junior Lauren Sheely.
Obviously, each game we want to grow, and we want to just get a little bit better with each game. And we always talk about our most important game of the season, and that's the next one, which is Radford.
The Tar Heels made it a perfect weekend with another dominating performance against the Radford Highlanders Sunday, crushing them 8-1. Carolina spread the wealth with 6 different players getting on the score sheet. Number 21, Casey DiNardo, was one of the 2 players to score multiple goals. Her first goal came in the 24th minute when she tapped in a perfect assist from Lauren Sheely. Nina Notman scored 2 goals, including this rip from the edge of the circle. Heels are now 6-0. Next up, Duke next week. The Sports Extra Player of the Week is UNC women's field hockey midfielder Emma Bozak. During the weekend, Bozak recorded 1 assist and 2 goals in just as many games to help keep the Tar Heels undefeated. The sophomore midfielder had an immediate impact on the game versus Old Dominion on Friday by scoring 2 early goals, the second of which was a cheeky shot through the goalkeeper's legs. Number 14's dominance didn't stop there. On Sunday, she helped humiliate Radford by providing an assist to teammate Lauren Moyer as the Heels cruised to an 8-1 victory. The Heels look like they're going to have a great year, but can they finally bring home another national championship? In 2009, the Tar Heels won the national championship against Maryland by 1 goal. The next 2 years, the Terps and Tar Heels met in the championship game, but the results were different. Maryland won both games by 1 goal in double overtime in 2010 and in overtime in 2011. Once again, in 2012, the Heels made it to the final game, but lost by 1 goal, this time to Princeton. 3 straight times a bridesmaid, the Heels could change that this year, though. The wrestling world took a huge hit back in February when the International Olympic Committee voted to drop the sport for the 2020 Games. However, on September 8th, the IOC reversed that ruling.
Now, wrestlers around the world must focus on marketing to keep the sport in the Olympic Games. Carly Swanson has the story.
Wrestling is as ancient as the Olympic Games themselves, but it can be hard to maintain a fan base. UNC's associate head coach, Kerry Kolak, competed for the U.S. wrestling team in the 2000 Olympics. He knows that's a problem.
Tell people, like, when you were a kid growing up, you could go in the backyard and say, hey, let's play a pickup baseball game or pickup basketball game. You didn't pick up a wrestling game.
In the U.S., wrestling faces another obstacle. Collegiate wrestling is different than Greco and freestyle wrestling, the forms used in the Olympics. Once a wrestler has excelled in college, the athlete must adapt to different rules.
But we do our best competing when a guy is done, when he comes through college, wrestles, wins his NCAA titles or competes for his NCAA titles, and then after that, he'll usually find a training location and strictly keep to Greco freestyle and prepare for the Olympics, the World Championships every year.
Colette also runs the North Carolina Olympic Training Center, and regional centers like this are crucial in helping athletes transition to compete at the highest level.
The U.S. national team is composed of the top 3 guys in the country. Sometimes we have a guy who's in college who's good enough to be the #1 guy in the country, but that's somewhat rare.
With wrestling back on the table for the 2020 Olympics, Colette is not only interested in developing athletes, but also increasing awareness of the UNC team. On October 15th, the team will be hosting the Blue and White Rumble right here at the pit. In Chapel Hill, I'm Carly Swanson.
I'm looking forward to catching some of that slam down between classes. Any way we can put our professors in the ring with them?
It's the shot heard around the world, or at least Chapel Hill. So did it go in?
It's complicated. We'll explain when Sports Extra returns.
Connect with us online by liking the Sports Extra Facebook page and following us on Twitter @SportsExtra_UNC.
Thanks for calling the GED Pep Talk Center. Jerry Stiller speaking. Your level 7 in your face pep talk.
I can keep pushing you. Believe me, I'm good at it. But at some point, you're going to need to start pushing yourself.
See, once you've got your GED diploma, you'll feel so good about yourself.
You tell them. You can't change your past, but you can definitely change your future.
That makes me so happy, I'm ready to bust out a dance.
Mr. Trejo, can I transfer this guy to you? My gentle technique isn't really working. You need something a little more
persuasive.
Yes.
You listen, and you listen good.
Hey, where's my sandwich? Terry? Terry!
Take it from me, the King DMC. It's a real cool thing to get your GED.
Get that diploma!
Now hold on and we'll find you free GED classes. Capiche?
Whatever motivation you need, we've got a pep talk for you. Get your GED pep talk and find free classes at yourged.org.
2 outs with a runner on first base. Now the big guy comes up to bat, hitting .342 with 92 RBIs and 36 homers. Number 50,000 back.
Chill raw and prepared foods promptly. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
$7,000 high school students drop out every school day. Let's catch them before it's too late. To start helping students in your community, visit boostup.org.
The men's soccer team isn't winning every game, but the Heels still remain undefeated. Friday versus Maryland, it was a frenzied first half. Each team scored twice, with Tar Heels goals coming from Robbie George on a penalty kick and another from Omar Holness. The game went into double overtime, but despite numerous shots on goal, neither team could escape with the win. No one was happy with the result, but at the end of the day, there's one thing both sides could agree about.
We all hate Duke! We all hate Duke!
It's extremely difficult to go undefeated. And the women's soccer winning streak came to an end this weekend against the Fighting Irish. Reporter Kelly Glendenning was at the match on Sunday and joins us to break down the game.
Thanks, Paige. Yesterday was a heartbreaking loss for the defending national champions. The Fighting Irish came ready to snap the Heels' 7-game winning streak on Carolina's home turf, and they did just that. Notre Dame came out strong and managed to sail one past the Carolina keeper in the 22nd minute of the game, putting the Irish up 1-0 at the half. Carolina went into the locker room frustrated, but but came out with an offensive mindset, outshooting Notre Dame 11-3. In the 62nd minute, senior Crystal Dunn rocketed a shot off the crossbar. It landed behind the Notre Dame keeper, but the referees did not award her the goal. Let's play that again. NCAA rules state that a goal is scored when the entire ball passes across the line. ESPN3 reporter said Dunn's shot should have been ruled a goal. Maybe I'm a little bit biased, but I think I'm going to have to agree with them on this one. Tweet us what you think at sportsextra_UNC. This was the team's first loss of the season. The Heels are now 1-1 in the ACC. There are two things the Heels need to work on in order to stay number one. First, the Heels have been slow to come out of the gate. They have consistently scored more goals in the second half. Yesterday's game followed the same pattern. Senior forward Kalia Ohai said she's fed up with the team's slow start.
I think we need to come out in the first half and score first every single time, and we can't let other teams come into our field, and take over the game.
The Heels have consistently been outscoring their opponents, which leads me to my second point. The team is failing to find the net in the final third. UNC averages more than 20 shots on goal, but only 10% of those find the net. With the exception of Sunday's game, senior Crystal Dunn has scored in every game she has played in so far. This week, the team hits the road with 3 consecutive away games before returning to Fetzer Field on October 6th.
Thanks, Callie.
Although it was a discouraging day for the current Tar Heel team, there's a former Heel who's still at the top of her game. Janelle Davis reports.
Salazar given away to O'Reilly. Oh, that's a fantastic goal. Heather O'Reilly.
Right back with the right foot. Sent back across. Pretty good ball and in the back of the net.
Fantastic play for Notre Dame. What a beautiful cross in the box. And who is it but Morgan Andrews to slam it home.
Heather O'Reilly is back, but now she's on the other side of the camera.
I just love being back and watching Carolina play.
At Sunday's game, former Tar Heel and national team player Heather O'Reilly was a color commentator for ESPN.
I think now that I'm a little bit older and I'm watching from the outside, it's just very cool for me to see these young women grow up in these 4 years and to add to something that's so great like this Carolina women's soccer dynasty.
A dynasty that she helped perpetuate. O'Reilly won 2 national championships and had 59 goals and 49 assists at UNC. Recruiter Chris Ducar called O'Reilly the second coming when he saw her play for the first time.
Not only is that kid going to be on full scholarship at the University of North Carolina, not too long after that, she's going to be on the full women's national team.
And that's exactly what she did. In 2002, she joined the national team at 17. Now, she's a 3-time Olympic gold medalist.
And scores with a cross shot into the corner. 2-0 to the USA. Heather O'Reilly.
O'Reilly isn't satisfied yet. She's added countless trophies to these shelves, but now her sights are on World Cup gold.
Hopefully we get that gold that we've sort of been missing out on. I have a bronze and a silver medal at the World Cup, which I'm very proud of, but just waiting for that gold medal. So that's what keeps me driven. I wake up every morning thinking, like, how are we gonna get that gold back?
1999 was the last time the U.S. won gold at the World Cup. O'Reilly vows to do everything she can to end the drought. Reporting from Fetzer Field, I'm Janelle Davis.
O'Reilly is still close with former coach Anson Dorrance. They play soccer together 3 times a week, and he says he's just training her up for the next Women's World Cup. It wasn't exactly a hole-in-one, but the golf team is off to a solid start this season.
We'll let you know if the Heels are on course and under par.
Body language can tell you all sorts of things. Like someone is having a stroke. Know the sudden signs. Learn fast. Face drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulty. Time to call 911 and get them to a hospital immediately. Learn the body language and spot a stroke fast.
This song was created with heartbeats of children in need.
Find out how it can help frontline health workers bring hope to millions of children at everybeatmatters.org. Come here.
I love you, Dad.
Packers. Viking. Packers. Viking. Viking.
Red state. Blue state. Vegan.
Carnivore.
We come from different places.
Uptown.
Downtown.
Night owl.
Early bird.
We come to different conclusions.
Half empty.
Half full.
But when we live united, we create real, lasting change in the building blocks of life. The education, income, and health of our communities, our families,
United.
even the person next to us.
Live united.
Real change won't happen without you. So give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Sign up at liveunited.org.
The women's tennis team's fall season is underway, with some early season success at the Duke Fab Four Invitational. The tournament, which included a blue, a white, and a black bracket, was full of heels all weekend. Haley Carter beat the 16th ranked player in the nation in straight sets to win the black draw. Carter and Jamie Loeb, both freshmen, also went on to win the blue doubles bracket. Loeb and 34th ranked Whitney Kay finished second in their respective singles draws.
And moving from tennis courts to the golfing greens, UNC men's golf hosted the Tar Heel Intercollegiate Golf Tournament this weekend at Finley Golf Course. Carolina competed against 14 teams in the first home tournament of the season. A bright spot for the Tar Heels was junior Brandon Delinka, who shot 3 under par 69 Saturday, allowing Carolina to finish the day tied with Duke for 4th place. The Heels beat out Duke to hold on to 4th behind UNCG, NC State, and first place Georgia Tech. Even freshmen can make a splash. Some of UNC's younger swimmers had a good weekend in Wrightsville Beach. Swimmers competed in the annual peer-to-peer open water championship, with Carolina's Liliana Casso winning first place in the women's 15 to 18 age group at 34 minutes, 12 seconds. Eugene T placed second in the men's 19 to 24 age group with a time of 32 minutes and 12 seconds.
The UNC women's volleyball team is on a roll. The Heels swept the competition this weekend in the 2013 Carolina Classic Tournament at home. The Heels dominated on their home court by taking all 3 matches in 3 sets each. Serbian outside hitter Jovana Belicia finished last game of the tournament against Albany with a team-high 11 kills. Sophomore middle blocker Paige Neuenfeld registered 9 kills and 1 block as well. Coach Joe Segula was pleased, but felt that there was much to learn from this weekend.
But we have to take every match, every point, we have to take more seriously. And I think that's what we're going to take from this. And it's a good wake-up call for us.
The Heels have dropped only 3 sets this season. A big part of Carolina's success is Kayla Behringer. Behringer won the Carolina Classic MVP honors. She joins us now. Welcome to the show, Kayla. So you only dropped 3 sets in 9 games. That's a pretty impressive stat. What do you think it is that makes Carolina such a tough team to defend against?
I think Carolina is such a hard team to defend against because we have such a spread offense. We have great pin hitters on the outside and right side as well as in the middle. And the ball can go to any of them at any time, and we know that we're going to be able to put the ball away, which makes which makes it so hard for us to defend because we're just equally balanced.
Right, and you have a tough schedule ahead, too. The ACC Big Ten Challenge is coming up next weekend, and then the team moves into ACC play. So what games are you looking at that you think might be tough for your team?
This upcoming weekend, we have Illinois, which is a big match for us. They're ranked ahead of us, and it gives us an opportunity to move ahead and up in the rankings. Also, Florida State's a big match for us. They've won the ACC the last 2 years, and we are looking to go after them and beat them this year. As well as Miami and Duke and State. Those are all going to be competitive matches for us as well.
Right, and road games are tough, but actually Carolina went undefeated at home last season. So how does that affect your mentality going into all of your games this year?
I think we've made it a standard that we need to win at home from now on. We've put it in place like this past year, like you said, going undefeated, and we've used the crowd on our side to keep the momentum going and create a lot of energy, but we need to go out there when we're at home and do our job. And keep the standard in place and winning.
Well, thank you for joining us today, Kayla. Good luck this season. And now that UNC is 9-0, it's the best start a Carolina volleyball team has seen since the 1981 team that went on to be ACC champions. So we'll see how the Heels turn out this season. Bet you didn't know this is an Olympic sport.
And you can try this speedy sport here on campus. We'll tell you how next.
Don't forget to tune in to our sister shows, Carolina Week at 5 p.m. every Wednesday on Time Warner 24 or Campus Channel 34, and Carolina Connection at 8:30 every Saturday morning on WCHL 97.9 FM.
Bethany Ann Doak. Ian Donnelly. Kirsty Lynn Dudhit.
All right, give me a spot. You know my motto, safety first.
They could be dangerous. I think we should call animal control.
Animal control?
To be safe.
Don't worry.
Just...
I got this. It's a new motto.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
Here's your check.
Oh, you got it. You know, since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Okay. God, no.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early.
You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
For this week in Carolina sports history, it's a good thing the Tar Heels are playing Georgia Tech in football. Well, at least it's better than playing another ACC rival. When UNC football has played NC State Wolfpack any time from September 15th to the 22nd since 1949, the team is 2-8. It's a good thing Carolina doesn't take on the Wolfpack until November.
And it's no longer just for backyards and barbecues. There's an Olympic racket sport you've probably played many times that's taking off at Carolina.
It's the fastest racket sport in the world, badminton, and it's found a new home in Carolina Club Sports. Team captain Yang Sui is happy the longtime student organization's transition to becoming a club sport was easy.
We just gave a presentation asking whether we can join or not, and everyone liked the idea because badminton is so awesome and it's an Olympic sport.
It's the 23rd Olympic club sport now offered at UNC. Faculty advisor C.D. Poon coaches many of the players and is looking forward to the benefits official recognition brings.
The UNC Campus Recreation will support us in all different ways, in terms of the facility, in terms of the financial-wise.
About a dozen players make up the team. They train 3 days a week to increase flexibility, sharpen footwork, and perfect game strategies.
In order to win a game, not only do you have to be fit physically, but you also have to be mentally strong and smart about the decisions you make on court.
It's not all work and no play, though. The players welcome community members and students to join them for free play twice a week.
Over the past several years, we start teaching people how to play this game, and we attract a lot of people from all ages.
Young, elderly, and even newbies like me can join in on the fun and learn the sport.
Sui says the best way for newcomers to get good is just to practice against the wall.
So what is it about badminton that keeps people coming back for more?
This is a very attractive sport. Once you get hooked onto this, you just cannot stop. You will keep playing and playing.
The team won its first tournament on Saturday, 14-11 against the team from SAS in Research Triangle Park. And I'm telling you, Paige, if you are looking for cardio, go to badminton. They roped me into a couple of practices, and I'm telling you, it was like lifting weights. It was just like crazy, such a good workout. So definitely go if you're looking for cardio.
Wow, I normally go to Zumba, but I guess I can try and shake up my exercise routine a little bit.
Well, you definitely should. Thanks for watching this edition of Sports Extra.
We hope you all have a great night, and thank you for tuning in.